Stacy Hudson. Thank you again for joining me for another session of chair yoga. To begin with today, we're going to have a seat in a comfortable seat that won't roll away from you, that is stable, and that your feet can touch the ground. And to begin with, we're going to focus on our breath today, just as we would in any yoga class. So if you would, go ahead and begin to lower your chin toward your chest. From here, you can do whatever you'd like with your hands. Just left them at your side, on your thighs, wherever it's comfortable. And focus on your breath. Equal inhale to equal exhale, in and out through your nose. As you relax, maybe your chin drops a little closer to your chest. And still continuing the breath in and out through your nose. Begin to lengthen your inhales and match that with lengthening your exhales. And if you'd like to, set an intention for your practice today. On your next inhale, lift your chin back up to where you're sitting back tall. Sit forward if you have leaned back in your chair. Nice tall posture, and bring your hands out to the side, palms facing forward. On your next inhale, you're going to reach up over your head. Right hand reaches for left wrist, and we're just going to bend to the right side. Going to breathe here. Just as we were before, equal inhale to our exhale through our nose. Feeling that nice stretch in the left side of your body here. On your next inhale, rise up. Switch your hands out. Your left arm is holding your right wrist, and then bend to that left side. You want to keep both feet on the floor. Both sit bones still firmly on the chair as well, as you feel that stretch on the right side of our body. Your next inhale, rise back up to center. Release your hands out to the side as you exhale. One more time, we're going to inhale, arms reach up overhead. And just as we did before, right hand over left wrist, bend to that right side. But this time maybe your gaze looks up toward that left elbow for a little bit deeper of a stretch. Still be sure that your feet remain on the ground. You remain firmly in your seat. And next, inhale, rise back through center, switch your hands out, and bend toward the left side. This time, maybe your gaze looks up toward that right elbow if it can. Next, inhale, rise back up through center. Let your hands drop down to the side. One more time, we're going to inhale, arms reach up overhead. This time our hands meet, and we're going to bring that down to heart center. Place your hands just above your knees in front of you. Once again, drop that chin to your chest. And this time we're going to inhale into our cat pose. So we're going to arch our back. We're going to look toward our belly button. And if it feels right, maybe you bring your elbows out to the side and spin your palms around. This is our seated cat pose for the day. Arched back. You continue to breathe here just as we have all along. And on your next exhale, we're going to come into our cow pose. So if your elbows are out, you're going to spin them back in toward your ribs. You're going to look up towards the sky. And you breathe here. This is a counter pose to our cat. Our chest is a little puffed up toward the sky, heart facing upward. And we're continuing that equal breath, that equal inhale to exhale. And on your next inhale, we're going to rotate back into our cat pose. And the next exhale, come back into cow. Inhale back to cat. And then exhale back to cow. Inhale cat. Exhale cow. I want you to do a few more of these cat-cow rotations at your own pace, matching your breath to movement. If one of these poses feels better to you than the other, maybe you choose to stay there for a moment, that is fine. And then go ahead and wrap up your cat-cow, but make sure you've done the equal amount of cat poses as you have cow. And then come back to that strong posture, easy seat here in your chair. Drop those hands out to the side once again. And then inhale, reach those arms up overhead. Exhale, we're going to bring them down through heart center again. But this time we're going to drop our right elbow to the outside of our left knee. Push the hands together. And if it feels okay to you, gaze looks up over that left shoulder. Inhale through center. And opposite side, left elbow to right knee. Push the hands together. Gaze follows if it's comfortable. Inhale through center, and release your hands down to the side. Make sure you're seated firmly in your chair, and on your next inhale, we're going to rise up. Bring our right knee into our chest. Flex those toes and pull that knee in toward you. And then release that back to the ground. On your next inhale, same thing, left leg, pull it in toward your chest, just waking up those legs. Flex those toes. And then release that leg back down. You might want to scoot up to the front of your chair here just to give yourself a little bit more room. Make sure your feet, ankles are underneath your knees. Inhale, reach those arms up overhead. And exhale, let's swan dive our hands to the ground or as close as they come. If they're only on your feet or your shins, that's fine. Chest to legs. And let your head hang heavy. Inhale, halfway lift, straight spine here, and then exhale, fold back to the earth. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead, and exhale down to heart center. Bring your legs out about hip-width distance apart. Pretty easy to tell, judging by your chair here. And then release your hands out to the side. Once again, we're going to inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, let's fold forward this time, but now our arms are between our legs. And again, let your head hang heavy. Inhale, halfway lift, so you have that straight spine, gaze looks forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, high mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bring your legs back together. Drop the hands down to the side. We're going to do that one more time to add on. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, we swan dive into our seated forward fold. And then from here, whether it's in front of your foot or on your feet, bring that right hand to where it's pretty much centered with your nose. And inhale, sweep the left arm up to the sky for an easy seated twist. it back down. Inhale, halfway lift up, straight spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up to high mountain. And exhale to heart center. Bring the feet back out, hip width distance. Drop the hands down to the side. Inhale, they scoop up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Once again, hands meet between our legs this time. A couple rounds of breath here. Enjoy this inversion. And then once again, bring that right hand underneath the center of your face. Inhale the left arm to the sky. If this is enough of a twist for you, you stay right here. But if you would like to, you can drop that left hand to the right hip and continue to twist into your easy twist here. Look up over that left shoulder. Just gives you a little bit more. And then if you are twisted, bring that left hand back out. Return it to the ground. And once again, we're going to switch out our hands. Next, inhale. Right arm goes up to the sky. And once again, if you would like a deeper twist, you can go ahead and do that. Reaching that right hand to the left hip. You may find that one side of the body is more comfortable with that than the other, and that's normal. And if you are twisted here, release that right arm, and then release it all the way to the earth. Let your head hang heavy once again. Inhale, halfway lift, straight spine. Exhale, fold back to the ground. This time, heel to your feet a little bit further apart. Reach for opposite elbows, and let your head hang heavy for a seated ragdoll. You can shake your head yes, you can shake your head no, or you can just hang here in stillness, your choice. And then release your hands back to the earth. Heel to those feet back in to hip width distance. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, high mountain. And bring hands to heart center. Bring those feet back underneath your knees. From here, we're going to drop our hands down to the side. Inhale, high mountain as we stand up overhead. Exhale, bring those arms down to heart center as we sink back into an imaginary seat here. We are in our seated position, but we are not on our chair. Squeeze those knees together. Drop your hands down to the side. Inhale, stand up, arms reach up overhead. And exhale, just let them fall down the center line of the body and out to the side. From here, we're going to do a few more poses with our chair, but we're going to have to change where our chair's at. So you want the seat of the chair facing you, and bring it to the very front of the mat. From here, you're going to want to step about a foot or two back, just depending on your height. And here, hands out to the side, Tadasana. Inhale, reach them up overhead. Exhale, we're going to fold until our hands meet the chair for our downward dog. And then step your feet back a little further to where you are in that true modified downward dog in your chair pose. And then look up toward the chair. Step your right foot up for a high lunge. And walk your hands back a little further on the chair. If it gives you more stability, your choice. We're going to hold this here for a few moments since we have our chair to help us balance. And we're going to return to that breath in and out through our nose. And then step the right foot back. Come back into downward facing dog. Look up at your chair. Step the left foot up, high lunge. Once again, we're going to hold this here for a few breaths. So address your hands if they need to step out a little bit. That's fine. Step that left foot back, downward facing dog once Really bend into those arms. Step the right foot up once again, high lunge, but this time we're going to add on. We're going to keep our left arm solidly planted on the chair, but we're going to sweep the right arm up to the sky to begin with. And then return the right arm to the chair. Place this time all the weight in the right hand. Inhale, sweep the left arm up to the sky. Return the left hand to the chair. Sink a little deeper into your lunge. From here, we're going to bring that left arm around, pivot the back left foot around, and rise up into our warrior two. And then straighten that right leg. Hinge forward at the hips, and drop the right hand back down to the chair. Left arm sweeps up to the sky. Drop that right arm down in front of you, and as you bend the right knee, come back into warrior two. Place the right hand on the chair, cartwheel the left hand around, pivot the left toes around, and then step back to downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here just to reset. Now step the left leg back up, high lunge once again. And adjust your hands however you need. Place the weight in the right hand. Inhale, the left arm sweeps up for a twist. You won't get very far on this side. Return the left hand back down. Place the weight in it, and inhale the right arm up to the sky. Return the right hand back to the chair. Bend a little deeper into your lunge here. And then your right arm is going to cartwheel, rainbow, whatever you want to call it, up into a warrior two. That right foot pivots down. Straighten the right leg, hinge the hips a little forward, reach as far as you can with the left hand, drop it down to the chair, and then the right arm sweeps up to the sky for triangle pose. Now drop that right arm in front of your face, bring it back, bend your left knee until you're back in warrior two. Bring the left hand to the chair, cartwheel the right hand around. We're going to pivot those right toes around and step the left foot back. Come back into our modified downward facing dog. We take just a couple breaths to reset. And this time we're going to look up at our chair. Right leg steps forward, but this time we're going to drop the left knee down to the ground for a low lunge. From here, bring the right arm out to the side. Bring the left arm out to the side. Find your stability. Then bring them back behind you as you fold over that right leg. Airplane arms. Pull those pinkies and pull those shoulder blades in toward one another. Inhale those arms back out to a T and then up overhead. Exhale, return them back to the chair. Flip those left toes under, come back up into your low lunge, or your high lunge, I'm sorry. I'm going to take a few breaths here, hold this pose for a few more breaths like we did before. And then inhale the right arm to the sky. Bring it back to the chair. Weight in the right hand. Inhale the left arm to the sky. Bring it back to the chair. Couple breaths here. And then once again, we're going to cartwheel that arm around, come into warrior two. Right knee bent, left leg has extended behind us, pivoting our toe down. Straighten the right leg. Hinge forward at the hips. Reach the right hand for the chair, left arm to the sky. Triangle pose. Sweep that left arm in front of us, bend the right knee, come back into warrior two. And this time we're going to flip our right hand, reverse our warrior. Gaze looks up at the sky toward your right arm if this allows. Come back into warrior two. Straighten the right leg once again. Hinge forward and triangle pose. Drop the left arm in front of you. Keeping the right leg straight, rise the arms up, and then reverse triangle. Bend the right knee, come back into warrior two, and cartwheel those hands down. Step the right foot back, downward facing dog. Couple breaths just to reset once again. Then gaze looks up at the chair. Step the left foot up, but this time we're going to come into our low lunge once again. Find our stability here. Bring our arms out to a T. And then sweep them back behind us as we bend over that left leg. Airplane arms, pulling those pinkies, shoulder blades together. Release them back to a T, and then up overhead. Exhale, return them to the chair. Pop that right knee up until you're in your high lunge. Again, adjust your hands as needed. Inhale the left arm to the sky. Return it to the mat. Inhale the right arm to the sky. Return it to the mat. Stay here for a few breaths. Sink a little lower into your lunge this time. Sweep that right arm in front of you. Come back into warrior two. Straighten the left leg. Hinge at those hips. Reach that left hand to the chair, right arm to the sky, triangle pose. Drop the right arm in front of your face, come back into warrior two. Going to reverse our warrior, so flip the left hand to face the sky, and then the right arm sinks back, down the right leg. Drop the left hand in front of your face, back to warrior two. Straighten the left leg, hinge forward, triangle pose once again. But now we're going to float through this and come into our reverse triangle. And then back to warrior two. Bend the left knee. Cartwheel the hands down. Step the left foot back. Downward facing dog. From here, we're going to look up at our chair. This time, we're just going to push ourselves forward until we're in a plank pose. Again, adjust your arms as you need. Engage the core. Really pull those abdomens in. And breathe here. You're going to pivot the left toes down to where the toes are facing out toward the right side, and then slowly pivot the right toes until they're on top. Bring your right hand to your hip for a modified side plank. From here, release that right arm up to the sky. If this is enough for you, that's fine. If you want to release your right leg up, you may do so. And then wherever you are, roll back over those feet, come back into your standard plank. Let's release back to downward facing dog. And then we're going to push ourselves forward once again into plank. We're going to do this on the opposite side. So rotate that right foot down, left foot on top of it. Bring that left arm release back to downward facing dog. And then this time we're going to come back into plank, but we're actually going to lower ourselves, bending our knees until we are on the ground. Sit back onto your feet. You may need to adjust how close you are to the chair. For hero pose, release your hands out to the side. If hero pose doesn't feel good to you, feel free to come to an easy seated position on your mat. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, we're going to fold forward, reaching for the back of the chair. And letting our chin come toward our chest. This is a modified child's pose. Again, make any modifications you need. If you'd like to bring your knees out to the edges of the mat for a wide leg child's pose, you feel free to do so. And then release any grasp you have on the chair. Just roll yourself back up to a strong posture. Return to your breath. Next, inhale, those arms reach up overhead. Exhale, return them to the chair. Rise up onto your knees, flip those toes under, and come back to downward facing dog. And from here, look at your chair, step the right foot forward, come back into your high lunge. Take a couple breaths here. Find that balance with the weight in your left hand. Inhale the right arm up to the sky. Return it to the mat, or not the mat, the chair, I'm sorry. Inhale the left arm up to the sky. And return it back to the chair. Sink a little deeper into your high lunge. Remember to breathe. And then cartwheel that left arm back, come into warrior two, pivoting that left foot down. We're going to straighten the right leg, hinge forward, reach for our chair, left arm up for triangle. Drop that left arm in front of your face, bend the right knee, come back to warrior two. And then reverse your warrior. Back to warrior two. Straighten the right leg. Hinge forward, reach down once again, triangle toes. Now flip this triangle through center and reverse it. Come back to warrior two. Keeping our left foot just where it is this time. Inhale both arms up overhead for warrior one. Sweep those arms back behind you. Hinge forward over your hips just a little bit for airplane arms. Inhale, reach back up overhead. Exhale, warrior two. Cartwheel those hands back down. Step the right foot back to meet the left. Downward facing dog. We'll take our couple breaths here to reset. And then look at your chair, left leg steps forward, high lunge. Take a couple breaths. Place the weight in the right hand. Inhale the left arm up. Return it to the chair. Inhale the right arm up. Once again, return it to the chair. Sink a little deeper. And then cartwheel those arms back around to warrior two. Straighten the left leg, hinge at the hips, and come into triangle pose. Sweep that right arm in front of the face, rise up into warrior two, and then reverse your warrior. Drop the left arm in front of your face, warrior two. Straighten the left leg, triangle pose, left hand to chair. Float through center and then reverse triangle. Bend the left knee, warrior two. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead, warrior one. Exhale, the arms back behind you, hinge over the left leg, airplane arms. Inhale, back up, warrior one. And then warrior two. Before you cartwheel your arms back down, pivot the right toe around. Step back into downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward, drop the left knee this time. Bring the arms out to a T. Sweep them back behind you again for airplane arms. Hinge forward over that right knee. Come back to the T arms. This time we're going to inhale, our arms reach up overhead. Exhale, the right arm to the chair in front of you, left arm behind you. If you don't need the balance here of the chair, you can release your right arm up, your choice. Inhale, the arms reach back up overhead. Exhale to the chair, pop that left knee back up. Step the right leg back for high plank. Engage the glutes and the abdomen here as we roll over onto that left leg for a modified side plank. Make sure that the left hip stays up. You don't want to let it drop like that. Keep it up. And then release your arm up to the sky once again. You can bring your right leg up if you want. Maybe even want to bring your right leg to your left leg. Your choice. Play around with it. And then roll back over to your high plank and back to downward facing dog. Step the left leg up, lower the right knee down, low crescent lunge here, release the arms out to a T, and then back behind you as you bend over that left leg. Release them back to a T. And once again, bring the left hand to the chair. Right arm sweeps back behind you. You can bring that left arm up if you want, or keep it on the chair for balance. Inhale, sweep those arms up overhead. Exhale, returning to the chair. Hop the right leg up. Step the left leg back for high plank. We want to make sure that we don't let our hips drop. And then rotate over onto the right leg. Left arm comes up to the hip, side plank. Maybe it comes up to the sky, and once again, play around with your left leg. Whatever type of side plank you'd like to do. And then roll back over, high plank once again, and then downward facing dog. From here, we're going to walk our feet in, about a foot from the chair, stretch our hands back to the back of the chair and really fold into it. For a forward fold. Step the right leg back, just about a foot maybe not quite that far. Walk your hands to the front of the chair, modified pyramid. Step the right leg up to meet the left, and step the left leg back. Same thing, opposite side. Step the left leg back up again. Release your hands to your sides and slowly roll back up until you're standing tall. From here, we're going to flip our chair around so we have the high back of the chair facing us. And then we're going to have our left hip toward the chair here. We're going to go into a couple different balance poses. So with your left hand holding on to the chair, we're going to come into tree pose. So we can either have a kickstand pose here. Just want to make sure your right knee is pointed out to the side. Or you can raise that right leg up as far as you'd like. Just try not to have it on your knee. not too comfortable for the knee. And then from here, right arm can rise up overhead. Maybe a cactus arm. Whatever kind of tree you want to be, and you can let go with your left hand if you prefer, if you have the stability. Or if you want to keep holding on to it and maybe play with something a little different, you can bend that tree. Bend the left elbow and let the right arm sweep up overhead. Definitely not something that would be very easy to do without the chair. And then inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, release the right hand to the hip, and then let your right leg return back to the mat. We'll do the same thing opposite side, so I'm just going to turn around, but you can always flip your chair around if you'd like. And your choice here, we can start with just the kickstand, but again, we want the knee facing out to the side, or you can bring that left leg up to wherever you'd like. And then left arm reaches up, overhead, cactus arms, whatever you prefer. Maybe the right arm meets it. But I'm going to stay here and do the same as I did on the other side, and I'm going to bend into this tree. Inhale, release it back up, left hand to the hip, and then let the left hand come back to the ground. Shake that off a little bit. From here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hold on to the back of the chair. Step my feet back and come into a downward facing dog once again, but just for a second. And then inhale, I'm going to come up into a high plank. And then back to downward facing dog, just a little bit of a release. And then release my hands to the side and slowly roll back up to stand. I'm going to flip the chair back around. I ask that you do so as well. We're going to want the front part of that chair as we come into our final flow of our chair class today. So from here, just bring your hands out to the side, Tadasana. Inhale, reach them up overhead. Exhale, fold until our hands meet the chair. And then we're going to drop down to our knees to start. Just going to regroup here for a second. Make sure that we come into a child's pose and catch our breath. And then rise back up onto your knees. Flip those toes under, back to our typical downward facing dog. And then step the right leg up, back to my high lunge. Inhale the right arm up to the sky. And back to the chair. Inhale the left arm up to the sky. And exhale it back to the chair. Sink down a little deeper. And then cartwheel that left arm around, come into my warrior two. Straighten the right leg, hinge forward. Hand to chair, left arm up, triangle pose. Drop the left arm in front of you as you bend the right knee back to warrior two. And now we'll reverse our warrior. Back to warrior two. Straighten the right leg, hinge forward, triangle. Float through center in your triangle, back to reverse it. And then come back into warrior two by bending that right knee. Inhale, arms reach up overhead, warrior one. Exhale, scoop those arms back behind you, airplane arms. Inhale back to warrior one, and exhale to warrior two. Cartwheel that left arm down, pivot the left toes around, step back, downward facing dog. Step the left leg up, high lunge. Breathe through this. We're going to be here a couple breaths again. Inhale the left arm up to the sky. Exhale it back to the chair. Next inhale, right arm reaches up to the sky. And then back to the chair. We breathe as we sink a little deeper. toggle that right arm back, come into warrior two. The right leg pivots the foot down to the ground. Straighten the left leg, hinge forward, and then reach down for the chair, triangle pose. Drop the right arm in front of you, bend the left knee as you come back into warrior two. Reverse the warrior. Drop the left arm in front of you, warrior two. Straighten the left leg in, hinge the hips, triangle pose. Flip that back through center, reverse your triangle. Drop the left arm in front of you, bend the left knee, come back to warrior two. Inhale, rise the arms up overhead, warrior one. Exhale, airplane arms as you bend over the left knee. Inhale, back up, warrior one. Exhale, hands back to chair. Step back, downward facing dog. Couple breaths just to reset. Step the right leg up, drop the left knee back down. Sweep those arms back behind, slide you to a T. And then inhale up overhead. Exhale back to the T. And then back behind you. Back to the T. Inhale up once again. Exhale, hands to the chair, flip the left toes under. Step back, downward facing dog. Left leg step through. Lower the right knee. Inhale the arms out to the T. Inhale up. Exhale T. And then back behind you. Airplane arms. Inhale back to your T. Up overhead. Exhale back to a T. Once again, arms up overhead. Exhale back to the chair. Rise back up, downward facing dog. Look back at your chair. Rise forward into high plank. And then roll over onto that left side, left of the foot. Modified side plank. And you take your variation of it. Knowing that this is completely fine if you stay here in a standard side plank. Release that right hand to a chair, roll over, come back to downward facing dog. Push yourself back forward, high plank, roll over onto the right foot, and come into your modified plank here, side plank, and you come into your variation. Roll back over into your standard plank, and then push yourself back to downward facing dog. Walk your feet slowly back up to the chair, about a foot away from it. Reach your hands back to the back for forward fold. Let those forearms fall down to the seat of the chair. Now step your right foot back until you come into pyramid pose. Step the right foot back up, forward fold. Step the left leg back, pyramid. The left leg steps back up. Release your hands from the chair and reach down to the mat. If you need to bend your knees until your hands reach the mat, go ahead and do so. Inhale, halfway lift. Straight spine, look forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up to high mountain. And exhale those hands to heart center. Release your hands to the side. Inhale, sweep them up overhead once again. Exhale, fold the arms to the chair. You're going to keep your left foot where it is on the ground. Keep your left hand on the chair. Shoot the right leg straight back behind you. And then release the right arm up to the sky. I lost it there. We're going for a half moon pose. There we go. Flex Release the left hand back to the chair, left leg back to the ground. We're going to do the same thing, but a different variation here. So come down to your forearms. You've got your forearms on the ground. Maybe you grip your chair just a little bit. Now kick the right leg back. Release the right arm up to the sky. Flex the toes. You might find one variation is easier than the other. Whichever one works for you. Release that right hand back to the chair, right foot back to the ground. Take a couple breaths. Next inhale, send the left leg straight back. Flex the toes. Release the right arm. You're going to rise it up to the sky. Gaze only follows if you can. And then release the left hand back to the chair, left leg back to the ground. Bend the knees, sit back. Yogi squat here for just a second. Place your hands on the front of the seat. And inhale, push yourself back up. Walk your feet back. Last downward facing dog, I promise. And then drop down to your knees. Spread them wide apart. Bring your hands back to the chair. Wide leg child's pose. You get a totally different feeling in chair yoga with child's pose when you do it this way. Really opens up that back and shoulder a lot differently than if you were just laying on your mat. Inhale, rise back up. However you get there, go ahead and stand back up. We're going to take a seat back in our chair. So I'm going to turn my chair back around and face you. And from here, we're just going to go into a little bit of a cool down with a few more leg stretches. So to begin with, we're going to bring that right knee in, flexing the toes. You can lean back in the chair for stability. Really hug that right knee in. And then cross it over the left leg. Push the knee down to where it's somewhat parallel with the ground. And don't really push it down until it hurts. Just guide it a little bit here. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, fold over that right leg. Pull the elbows back behind you. Don't let them flare out to the side. And then inhale, push yourself back up to sit. Release the right leg down. Inhale the left leg up, hug it in. And then cross it over. Once again, guide that left knee down where it's somewhat parallel with the ground. Inhale, sit tall, and exhale, fold over that leg. Don't let your arms flare, pull them back. Inhale, rise back up. Release the left leg. And you're going to right leg, flex your toes, rise the right leg up until it is parallel with the ground. Just holding it here. Breathe through it. You might see it shake a little bit, that's okay. And then bend the right knee. Don't let it return to the ground yet. You're still holding it here, flexed toes. Stretch it back out, straight leg. Don't forget to breathe. It's easy to hold your breath when you're working through a movement like this. Bend your knee, hold it here above the ground. We're going to do it one more time. Inhale, stretch it back out. If you'd like to, take your peace sign fingers, reach for that big toe if you can. You don't need to. And then if you have a hold of your big toe, release it, bend the right knee, let the right leg relax down to the ground. You know what's coming, we're going to do it on the other side. So straighten the left leg, rise it up parallel to the ground. Equal inhale to exhale on your breath through your nose. Bend the left leg, let fingers, wrap them around the big toe. Stretch it out here. Again, if you can't, no need to do so. And then release the left leg back to the ground. Sit up to the front of your chair. Bring the soles of your feet to meet and let your knees just hang wide open. Probably going to feel good after that last movement. Inhale, sit tall. Just breathe. Let your gaze soften if you want. Bring your arms out to a T. Spread the fingers wide apart. Inhale, bring them up, straight overhead. Fingers flexed. Exhale, reach forward. Try to make those arms parallel to the ground. Hold this here for a moment. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, hinge at the hips once again. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, bring the arms back to a T. And then back down to the side. Bring those knees back together. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, fold down to the earth like we began our practice. Hands to the ground if they can meet. If they don't, know that it's fine wherever they do land. Inhale, halfway lift, straight spine, gaze looks forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, high mountain. Exhale, heart center. Bring those knees back out, hip width distance from you. Once again, hands out to the side. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Let your head hang heavy. Hands to the ground. Heel to your feet out further. Let your toes point away from you. Right hand reaches for right ankle, left hand, left ankle. Inhale, halfway lift, straight spine. Exhale, fold forward. Keeping the toes where they are, come up to the tiptoes. Keeping your hands on your ankles, you're in a spider pose. If you'd like a little bit more of a stretch, you can reach for opposite ankles. You can do one at a time, or you can try for both. Release the heels back to the ground. Heel toe those legs back in. Release your hands back in front of your face. Then a wide leg forward fold here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, high mountain. Exhale, heart center. Heel toe the feet back to me. Drop the hands off to the side once again. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. This time the right hand reaches for the left side of the left leg. The left arm reaches back behind you. Twist yourself back toward that left shoulder. Grab on, hold on to the chair if you want, or you can just stretch your arm out over it. Twist as far that your body allows comfortably. Each inhale you sit tall, each exhale you twist a little bit further. Inhale, both arms rise back up overhead. Exhale, opposite side. Again, you can use the chair to pull yourself into a deeper stretch, or you can just let that right arm rest on it. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, twist each time. Release with the right hand. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Just reach forward. Reach as far as you can. And then release your hands to either the floor or your feet, whatever they find. Maybe your shins. And then bring your arms back behind you. Clasp your hands. Push your hands away from your body. Pull them up off your back just a little bit. Release those shoulders. Next, inhale, sit tall. Hands are still clasped together. Now your hands are down on the chair. Inhale, gaze looks up, puff the chest up. Reach your hands out to the side, and then bring them forward onto your knees. Inhale back into cat pose. Exhale, just sit back tall. One more time. Inhale to the cat pose. And then just roll back to your seat until you're comfortable. Let your right leg reach out in front of you, your left leg reach out in front of you. If the back of your chair is tall enough, let your head rest upon it. You can let your arms fall out to the side. You can cross your ankles if it's more comfortable for you. Basically, find a comfortable spot in your chair, close your eyes, and return to your breath. Equal inhale, equal exhale through your nose. And as you move further into your breath, you want to lengthen that inhale and exhale. Find that sitting in your chair is not relaxing, you can always move your Shavasana, your final resting pose, to your mat. That's perfectly acceptable. But wherever you've chosen to hold your final resting pose, begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Small movements to begin with. Maybe you roll out your arms, your wrists, your ankles. And then take a big inhale, reach your arms up overhead, reach your legs out in front of you. First stretch, like it's the first one of the day. And then slowly, very slowly, push yourself back up to your easy seated position. Let that chin fall toward your chest once again, arms out to the side, palms forward. Inhale, reach up overhead, hands meet. Exhale, bring them down to heart center. Thank you for practicing with me today. Accessible does not necessarily mean easy. I do hope you enjoyed this chair session and that you will follow me and join me once again. The light in me lives and honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you once again so much for joining me, Stacy, here for some chair yoga here at the Belleville Health and Fitness Center. Hopefully one day soon we'll get to meet in person, but until then,